And to be quite honest with you, I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted with Sue Bird, okay? Sue Bird. Say this. I love the point that you made about Caitlin Clark.
And yes, the games where she's not playing have lower viewership. But in the WNBA playoffs, and we'll use the semifinals as the example, the WNBA playoff semifinal games where Caitlin obviously is not in it because her team lost are still breaking records from previous WNBA.
Thanks to Caitlin Clark, Indiana led the league in attendance both at home and on the road. The Indiana Fever, nobody cared about her, averaged 17,035 at home this season with Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin has
a massive fight erupted in basketball, and it's not on the court. WNBA great Sue Bird is going head-to-head with ESPN's loudest voice, Stephen A. Smith. Why? Because TV ratings crashed after basketball's new superstar Caitlin Clark got knocked out of the playoffs. And trust me, things got ugly fast. When Sue Bird called out Stephen A. Smith for hating on the WNBA because the WNBA supposedly did not handle Caitlin well. However, Sue probably didn't expect the following fiery response. Smith, known for his passionate takes, didn't just defend himself. He came armed with numbers that tell a compelling story about women's basketball's newest superstar. Here's what sparked the fire. The Indiana Fever, Clark's team, transformed from a forgotten franchise into the hottest ticket in women's basketball overnight. We're talking about a mind-blowing 319% increase in attendance. The team that nobody cared about suddenly averaged 17,355 fans per home game. To put that in perspective, that's like turning a quiet neighborhood coffee shop into the most popular spot in town. But the real drama unfolded when Clark's team got eliminated from the playoffs. The viewership numbers? They fell faster than a lead balloon. The first playoff game without Clark drew 929,000 viewers. Sounds impressive, until you learn that Clark's playoff game had pulled in a whopping 1.84 million viewers while competing with NFL Sunday. That's like having your favorite band leave the concert halfway through. Sure, the music's still playing, but something's missing. Bird's argument was well-intentioned. She pointed out that even without Clark, the WNBA was breaking its own previous records. The playoff games were still cracking 1 million viewers, showing growth from previous years. It's like saying, hey, the party's still great even if the main attraction left early. But Stephen A. wasn't having it. He fired back, clearly offended by Bird's suggestion that he was undermining the league. I'm disgusted, he declared, explaining that as a journalist, he can't ignore facts just because they work for ESPN. It's his job to tell it like it is. And the numbers tell quite a story. With Clark in the lineup, games averaged 1.18 million viewers. Without her, a modest 394,000. That's not just a dip. It's a canyon-sized gap. The rookie's impact was so massive that 19 out of 22 games that hit the million-viewer mark featured her team. The Clark effect wasn't just about TV ratings. Merchandise sales shot up 450% for the WNBA, with Clark becoming the 5th best-selling athlete across all sports. Teams were literally changing venues to accommodate larger crowds when she came to town. The Las Vegas Aces moved their game against Clark's Fever to a bigger arena, and the Los Angeles Sparks altered their renovation plans just to host her in their main venue. The situation mirrors what happened with Team USA basketball. When Clark wasn't selected for the Olympic team, attendance hit record lows. It was like throwing a party and forgetting to invite the most popular person in school. Sure, people still showed up, but not nearly as many. What makes this story particularly interesting is how it highlights the delicate balance between supporting a growing sport and acknowledging the impact of a transcendent star. Stephen A. and Shannon Sharpe weren't trying to diminish the WNBA. They were pointing out that sometimes one player can change everything. Just like how Michael Jordan transformed the NBA in the 90s, Clark seems to be doing something similar for women's basketball. The truth is, both Bird and Smith have valid points. The WNBA is indeed growing and achieving new heights, with overall attendance up nearly 50% across the league. But it's equally true that Caitlin Clark has become a phenomenon unlike anything the league has seen before. Her regular season debut broke ESPN's viewership record, drawing 2.1 million fans. This whole situation feels like a classic case of growing pains. The WNBA is experiencing unprecedented success, but much of it is tied to one explosive rookie. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Every sport needs its superstars. But it does create an interesting challenge. How do you balance celebrating the league's overall growth while acknowledging the undeniable impact of a single player? As the dust settles on this media clash, one thing becomes crystal clear. Women's basketball is in an exciting period of transformation. Whether you side with Bird's optimistic view of the league's progress or Smith's realistic assessment of Clark's impact, there's no denying that something special is happening in women's basketball. The real question isn't whether Caitlin Clark is making a difference. It's how the WNBA will build on this momentum to create sustained success beyond any one player's impact. In the end, this isn't just about ratings or attendance numbers. It's about the future of women's basketball and how one rookie's extraordinary impact might just be the catalyst for long-term growth. As Stephen A. Smith would say, that ain't speculation, that's facts.